On July 6, 2016, the mobile game Pokemon Go was released in the United States, Australia, and New Zealand, and the following week in Europe and Canada. The game functions a lot like the Pokemon Nintendo games, where the player character travels the world looking for Pokemon, and at certain locations, now called Pokestops, can buy items like Pokeballs, lures, potions, and even Pokemon eggs. The game is free to play. It's a smart device app, so it does require owning a smartphone or device to play. And for anyone who's familiar with the Pokemon Nintendo games, it functions very much the same way. You travel the world searching for Pokemon to catch, raise, evolve, and collect. Although, interestingly, you do not battle the wild Pokemon with your own Pokemon to catch them, and you don't receive a starter Pokemon to begin with. You merely look around, whether randomly in places or there are a few, there are hotspots where a lot of people and Pokemon gather from place here and there, place to place, time to time. And when you find a Pokemon, you throw Pokeballs at them. And the chance of catching them is determined by a combination of factors. I myself have not played the game, and probably won't. The only phone I have is a very basic talking and texting phone, and honestly, it's obnoxious enough. I don't purchase apps or do very much with my phone at all, although eventually I may have to buy a smartphone just because so many people use them and do business with them these days, and I'll probably have to use Uber at some point for travel at the very least. The concept of Pokemon Go is certainly very, very interesting, and people have generally spoken very positively of the game experience. I've been playing Pokemon on my Game Boy Colors and Advanced ever since Red, Blue, and Yellow were released. The very first season of the Pokemon anime, known as the Indigo or Kanto League, was released to the United States in September of 1998. Although I didn't first see it until a few months later. In '99, I was still 14 at the time. I love Pokemon. My first starter was a Charmander, and the first deck I bought for the trading card game was the base set Brushfire deck. My favorite season was the Johto Journeys. I love the Johto region so much. It was a much more mythological setting than the Kanto or the Orange Islands, in my opinion, and my Johto starter was Totodile. I watched the series up to Master Quest and a little into Advanced, but after that I pretty much dropped the anime. I've only seen bits and pieces of the other series, other seasons. Pokemon Go has started with the original 151 Pokemon of the Kanto region, and will almost undoubtedly eventually expand to include the other regions and Pokemon. I admit I'd enjoy playing, but I'm likely not going to. I haven't even kept up with the new video game releases, the smaller console games. Well, I guess they're not smaller than a phone, but anyway. The Pokemon games I've been playing have been the Generation 2 games, from all the way back to the early 2000s, which I still play for fun from time to time, but I have too much going on in my life to play all the new games, let alone try to finish all the new Pokédexes. Although my Generation 2 games have, of this summer, now completely died. They don't save any data at all anymore, so I'm probably going to save up to buy the new Sun and Moon games that will be released in November. When I do that, I'll probably keep playing those for like a decade before buying new ones again. I just don't buy video games very often, despite very much enjoying them. I enjoy the ones I do have for years and years and years. Now, while I was on vacation with my family in Maine up near Damariscotta Lake, my family and I came across several articles about Pokemon Go. One of them that was trying to describe it was clearly written by someone who had no familiarity with Pokemon whatsoever, was so confused about the idea of the names of Pokemon, and did not understand the appeal of the games or the world, or the mythology of Pokemon, or of raising your own little creatures at all. So, yeah. Others were about people being very clumsy and stupid with the game, doing things such as breaking into private and even military property to go and seek out Pokemon. And, of course, there's also the problem with people playing on their smartphones when they're supposed to be driving or watching where they're going. They have gotten run over by cars or trucks and caused accidents, crashed their cars, and even though I can't personally confirm this, I've heard even a couple have walked right over a cliff. Hello, Darwin Awards. I was wondering whether the designers of Pokemon Go anticipated such issues, and I think most people were of the opinion that while there would be a few occurrences, most players would soon realize that they lived in a real world with real dangers and real consequences. Well, no. So many people are just not that aware, not that logical, and even those who are, when you get really caught up in a game, it's very hard to stop, especially when there's an aspect of competition in it. Players can battle each other, battle with their Pokemon, and so there is a kind of race involved in capturing Pokemon and raising them to their strongest evolution stages so they can fight and win. Pokemon evolution is it's actually metamorphosis. It's not real evolution at all, but that's beside the point. We do need to realize that we are in a real world, that there are real consequences and other things going on, and Pokemon Go is just another game, another fun distraction, and not supposed to be much more than that. However, this is hardly the first game to pull people away from reality. There were stories of people who crashed their cars and were killed or killed someone else because they were tending to their virtual pets, or playing Candy Crush, or texting. Texting is still a huge one. Or just talking on their cell phones, although a lot of cars now have built-in phones where the phone is held for you and you can talk. That's a little bit better. But it's still a huge problem with even just basic phones. So, high school and college students have blown their schoolwork over Star Wars RPGs or World of Warcraft, just to name a couple. This has happened before and will happen again. And it's not just kids and teenagers. Adults do this all the time too. Adults get just as caught up. Still, I'm sticking to my little Game Boy games that I play when I have a little free time and am away from other things or just by myself for the night. I've lately gotten into playing trading card games again. I'm working on building improved versions of the Pokemon base set starter decks for fun, as well as Yu-Gi-Oh! Character decks. And figuring out my own deck as well. I've begun introducing my younger brother to Magic the Gathering, and he's actually beaten me quite a few times. I do want to get into Dungeons and Dragons again. There was a group I played with in late high school and early college, and that was a lot of fun. I mean, we had a blast. So I really want to do that again. Playing these tabletop games as social events, maybe throwing D&D in with pizza and movie nights. So I'm not at all an anti-gamer. I love games. Let's just try to find a good balance between gaming and real life. Okay?